Hello, my friends. This is your happy stamper lady, Rachel Markin, helping the creative you shine through. Welcome to Add a Dash of Glitter week in October Old World Vintage. I'm super excited to get started with you. Okay, let's take a real quick peek at my Facebook page. Here we are, and if you get on my Facebook page, you will notice that I do a lot of pictures. I try to be interactive. I try to do some more personal questions, just a little more one-on-one time, and I love that. So I encourage you to go on over and like my Facebook page. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed to YouTube. Please continue to subscribe, share with your friends, and share on Facebook. This is my demonstrator website, and you can order at any time that you wish. And of course, you can always, hello my friends, come and ask me questions, and I can help you put an order together as well, because I love to do that. I love to help you figure out what you want to do. Okay, Magic Box! Super excited. This whole month we're doing something very different with the Old World Vintage. Got a definite steampunk feel about the things that we're doing, and I love it. I hope that you, if you have not caught my Simply Fantastic video, I hope you go back and check it out for October and see all the different fun things that I'm teaching you. Let's dive in to our Magic Box and see what we've got going on today. So I have a theme every month, and my colors stay the same, my stamps stay the same for the month, and then I build on it every week, and I add different things and show you how you can get the most out of your products, which I love. It's fabulous. It's a great challenge for me to do. So let's take a quick peek here at the things we've got in our Magic Box. Lots and lots of things. The idea behind the Magic Box, if you've never caught this before, is that you fit everything in the box for the project you want to create, and then you're not inundated with thousands of choices. You kind of have it all fit in one box. It works. I've challenged myself, and it definitely works. I love it. Okay, Magic Box empty. What do we got going on this week? We are using the World of Good paper, which is fantastic. I love this paper. Goes very good with our Old World Vintage, with all the beautiful, more muted, earthy tones, but then it's got this like pop of copper going through it, and it actually has these copper pieces. And as always, you see it in my box. It's because I've already done it Love It, Chop It style. Thank you, Kyla Bertucci. And I have a Love It, Chop It video that you can check out, and I will teach you how to do it Love It, Chop It style for yourself. It's the way I pretty much do all of my DSP that comes in 12 by 12. Then we have these two amazing stamp sets. We have the Beautiful World stamp set, and we have the Beauty Abounds. And I know they might not be something you would put together, but if you watched me Simply Fantastic, you see we're very eclectic. I am always very eclectic, and that it goes together, and I hope you love what we create with that. The colors we have for this month are Mary Merlot, Cajun Craze, Early Espresso, sorry, that's upside down there, Early Espresso, and my absolute favorite of all time stamp set, Blackberry Bliss. I am loving these colors together. They create such a fabulous pop. So those are always things we use. I have my B&D Black, always. This time I also, sorry, got that over there. I also have my eye block because I have a super long stamp. I don't always use that, but I have that today. I'm going to put those up here because we'll be using all of our wonderful stamp pads here. Now, Simply Fantastic week, we use the basics. Then, Add a Dash of Glitter means we get to add punches. So we're adding this fabulous butterfly punch, and we're adding this fabulous shape punch here that I love as well for words. So this is a super fun way that you can up the ante on your cards just by having a few punches. I think that's super fabulous. Another thing we add in Add a Dash of Glitter week is dimensionals, which they just pop up they come like a honeycomb. There you go. kind of hard to see on the thing. They come like little honeycombs. And then you pop up things on your cards. I think that's fantastic. It's something that I love to use, and I think it's a great extra. And we're using these fabulous little dots. They are in the holiday catalog, so they go away end of December. So you definitely want to get a hold of these beautiful little gems. I always have my paper snips, and I always have glue. It's my thing. And my bone folder, of course. And then I have this piece for this month. We're going to be distressing our cards. This came from Amazon. Actually, my friend Christy bought this for me. Thank you, Christy. Hope that you are doing well. And so those are like my add-ons. Now, something I wanted to talk to you about. Told you that this was a suite, which means it's a full group of products that we sell, which means that there's extras, and this is called a Memories and More pack. And I want to show you the beauty of that. It is like cardstock. It's double-sided, but a lot of times there's little things like this where you can do some writing. So people love to do this for Memories and More pictures, your scrapbooks. It's great for, but it's a beautiful set, and it comes with 25 3x4 pieces, and then it comes with 25 4x6 pieces. Are not these fabulous? Really, really beautiful, beautiful, with like the ability to write, do some writing. But the other beauty with Memories and More is it comes with stickers. Okay, so you have these beautiful stickers. Now, I feel like this is a great time to introduce this in Add a Dash of Glitter Week, because we get to add a little bit of extra. So today, when I show you your card, I'm going to show you a card with your DSP, and I'm going to show you a card with the Memories and More, how we can do that. Super, super fun. Okay, so let's get started on our card here. We're going to go back to a Joyfold card. I introduced the Joyfold card last month. Super, super fun, and I loved it. And so we're going to introduce the idea of the Joyfold card again. But remember, if you caught my Simply Fantastic, I taught you the ripping technique. We're going to do that all month long. We're going to rip cardstock. And we're going to distress cardstock, because we're creating this old world vintage, very steampunk feeling cards, which I adore. So let's talk about the base of the card first. I have already done some distressing because I wanted to kind of get ahead of the game to show you some things, but I will show you how to distress. We have another layer we're going to use. So the card base is 8.5 by 4 1/4 scored at 5.5, so that it leaves like this open-ended piece here. And then you have what I like to call the joy flap, the Joyfold piece itself, and that runs 8 inches by 3 inches, scored at 4 inches. Super, super cool. And then it's going to go inside. Very, very cool concept. The inside DSP starts out at 5 1/4 by 4 inches, and we did that lovely ripping technique. I will review that with you, but I only want to review it on one piece of paper. If you go back to my Simply Fantastic, you really see it in full, and so go back and check that out. But I will show it again today, but I wanted to show it on one piece of paper, so that's going to be inside here. Love it. And then we have what I say the front inside, and the front and the inside of the joy flap. So your front and inside pieces start out at 3 3/4 by 2 3/4, but I do ripping as well. Okay, and I will show you the ripping. So we've got some fun things to do today. So first things first, before we do our ripping, I like to stamp. Always, I think that's easiest to stamp, because if you have a happy accident, it does happen, it allows you a chance to maybe fix that a little bit. So that's what we're going to start with. So what do we need? We need our handy dandy Stamparatus. We're going to pull that from over here. Got our Stamparatus. Make sure, there you go, that you can see what is going on with the Stamparatus. We're going to pull out some of our stamps, because this is where we're going to make that very eclectic looking background that we've got going on. So we definitely want our butterfly. We want our little spritz of, I don't even know what you'd call that, just little dots, cute little dots. I love those little dots, actually. They're super, super fun. And in fact, I think we're going to take our compass from this set. We'll do our compass and we'll do our leaves. And actually might do the little squidgies and these little swirls today. Might go with that. Might even have a bit of the world in there today. We really can't go wrong with all the extra. So if you caught my video last week, and if you didn't, go back and check it out. I think that you will enjoy that. I talked about the whole idea behind it for me when you're doing this old world vintage, when we're getting this really cool steampunk look we've got going on. Is how you can take eclectic, you take all these bits and pieces randomly that don't seem to go together, and we take this ripping effect and all this stuff that kind of just seems a little bit old and torn, and we make something beautiful out of it. And so I was very philosophical. I might once again be philosophical this week about how that happens in our lives, how God takes these random messy places in our lives and create something beautiful. Okay, so I am actually doing the Mary Merlot on here, and I am doing just random bits and pieces here. There's never a right or wrong. I think you know that by now. I think you've probably heard me say that before. You can't go wrong. There's no right or wrong with what you choose to do. I just want it to be seen, and you're going to cover it up with paper. You're going to have bits and pieces and things that you've got going on. So again, I'm just trying to give it a little bit of pop here, and then we'll come back in and we will add other things. So I think the cool thing about this for me, but I do realize that for some people this is difficult because there isn't a oh, what's the word I want? There's not a final look because it's always going to look different. And so for some people, that is a little bit scary. It's not necessarily exciting. It's kind of like, I don't really know where you're going with that. And I enjoy that, but for some people, maybe that's not so enjoyable. So I'm aware of that. I'm aware that it's a little bit stretchy, maybe, for people. But I really like it. So I will share with you, I had the awesome privilege of attending a beautiful wedding yesterday with my husband. One, it was lovely to just go on a date with him after 25 years. Yes, we do still date. And that was lovely, and it was a wonderful time. I'm so blessed by my husband, and to have him and the time that we have is such a blessing to me. But this wedding was very special because this particular friend has been through the ringer for years and years in a horrible abusive marriage and a lot of pain in her life, and to go and watch her get married to this new man in her life, and the absolute and utter joy on her face and his face. I don't know him. I just met him yesterday, but he seems wonderful. Was such a privilege to me, and such an awesome reminder of how big our God is and how he can take something broken and create something beautiful, which is indeed what happened. This wedding yesterday was stunning. She radiated joy. It was just a beautiful thing to behold, and I was super blessed to be a part of it. So such a blessing. Okay, so there you go. We see that we've got this like really random stamping going on here. And again, this is where you just let yourself play. There is no right or wrong. You can't get it wrong. It's gonna be whatever, in all honesty, catches your fancy and you feel like, oh, I like that. That works for me. That's what you're going for. We're just going for something really, really cool. Here to take it and enjoy what we're making. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so we've got that going on, and I think I was trying to decide, that might be it. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the feather, maybe, or do I want to do the squiggle? There we go. So many decisions. Feather or squiggle? Again, you know, there's no right or wrong. Just kind of fun to play around. I don't know if I want the squiggle. It's okay, but I don't feel like it shows off to the advantage that I want it to, because you're going to have a lot of paper going on. So, no problem. Get that out of the way. I was going to stamp butterflies, but I don't think I'm going to stamp butterflies because I actually popped out butterflies this time. If you remember, I popped out some butterflies, so I think I'm not going to do that, but I will do this compass because I do love the compass, and that looks really cool. That adds a cool element, and then we're just about done in the stamping department. And then we're going to rip paper, and we're going to distress paper, and we're going to do some really cool techniques today again, and I absolutely love it. Love, love, love it. And then I'm going to show you, kind of take that same concept of what we're doing here, but we take that concept with the Memories and More paper, which is super, super cool too. So, yeah, I think, just checking, I think I'm happy with that. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do this part. I had stamped my words, which is totally fine. I had stamped my words, but I didn't. Yeah, oh, that's actually really, really cool. Let's maybe just do a swoopy and we can be done with that on there. And then we'll talk about how everything kind of just gets put together, which is the best. We kind of want to get everything put together here. Let's do a little cute swoopy. Yes, I love that. I tried to use that as my as my stamp pad. No, Rachel, that's not going to work out for you. Okay, and so I think, yes, I think I'm happy with that. All right, so now I'm just going to move my stamp pads over to the side. If I need them again, it'll be there, but they won't be in the way of what we're doing to put our stuff together, and that's very important. Okay, so let's talk about how all of this works. So I have the piece ready for the inside here, and I have these pieces ready, but I will need to distress them with the early espresso. So we still need to distress with early espresso, but I want to talk about the ripping technique real quick that I shared with you last week, and it applies to, you can apply to your cardstock, which I did here with the early espresso, or your DSP. So when I rip, I take my thumb kind of like as my guide, and I rip toward myself. There is no right or wrong in ripping. You can rip as much or as little as you desire. That doesn't matter either. It's kind of just what you want for the area that you're fitting it in, that you like the look of it. So this particular piece is going inside my flap, and I don't mind that. I think I will just rip a little bit more on this side here, like so. Easy peasy, no big deal for that. Then the other part that I wanted here, I want to do my punch with. And so when I punch, I generally turn my punch upside down. It's not a requirement, it's just helpful for me. I can kind of see, like I see where it's going inside, so that when I punch it, it's ready to go. There's no right or wrong for that necessarily. It's just probably the easiest way that I can do it. Then for the butterflies, I will just tell you, I'm going to pull them out here so you can see. If you've watched any of my videos, you generally know that I tend to do what I call assembly line stamping. So I will punch out a whole bunch of stuff at one time. So I have punched out a plethora of butterflies already, as you see over here, so that they are ready for me to use. I just find that to be easier for me to do. Now, I started with this distressing, with the distressing tool. I started with Cajun Craze. I have a few pieces that I still need to do because I just punched out the little shape here. I'm going to do Cajun Craze across that to distress that, and all I'm doing, you're watching me, I'm just distressing the edges, and I needed to do that for this ripped piece as well. When you rip, what happens is you get this white edgy part here, and it allows that color, so you watch me distress that, see what I'm doing there? It allows that color to seep in really, really well. Quite beautiful, actually. I love it. I love it. Okay, and then we've got that. Now, I think I've got everything distressed in the Cajun Craze. So I can put the Cajun Craze to the side, and then I want Early Espresso. And the beautiful thing is that when you buy this distressing tool, it comes with a lot. I'm not really sure how many, but it comes with a lot of sponges. So I have certain sponges for certain colors. That's just kind of how I do that. Okay, so now I'm going to go back across the Cajun Craze. I'm going to use my Early Espresso, and I'm literally just going back over top of what I've done, and that multi-dimensional coloring, I think it kind of gives it like a burnt, edgy look, which I absolutely adore. I think that's super, super cool. So we've got all of that. Yeah, see all the facet of color. This is before I've done it over here, and then you've got that extra facet of color. I love it. I love the look of that. Now, I realize this could be stretching some people, and they don't love it. So what you can take away from this is the technique to make your own cardstock with all the different stamping, random stamping that I did. That allows you to create scenes on your paper, so you can take that away. You can take the joy fold away, which can be used in many, many ways, and you can go back and watch my videos. In September, I used the joy fold a couple times. So there are ways that you can take what I teach you. If not everything works for you, that is okay. We're all very different people, and the way that we craft is very different, and we each have like an individual voice to our crafting and the way that we do things. That's fine. That's how it should be. So don't distress if you don't like to distress, and if you don't like to rip, it's totally fine. Totally fine. You can figure out what works for you. The reason that I wanted to kind of concentrate on a different look, one, I think it's fun. I think sometimes we can get in a rut and you start to feel like, oh my gosh, all my cards look the same. Maybe you don't feel that way. Sometimes you can, I think I can feel that way. So I like to do something different. I like something that takes me to a different place. This definitely is different. It definitely makes me view the stamps differently, the way I'm looking at something. And so here we go with Rachel's philosophies. I think we need to do that in our lives sometimes. I think we can get in a rut with how we're viewing our lives and the things that we're doing. And of course, in the time that we are in, I think everybody can start to feel a little bit like they're in a rut, like everything is the same. And so if we find ways to view our life differently, for me, I have shared that's God, that's finding things to be thankful for and finding things to praise for. That definitely helps me to get a different perspective in my life, and to see that even when things seem messy and random, which, you know, what I'm making here might seem a bit messy and random, you can create something absolutely spectacular if you reimagine, take a different viewpoint and say, what can I do with these pieces in my life? Because the truth is, we're here. This is what's happening. These are the places that we're in our lives. what can we do to make a difference? You know, we've got hurricanes going on and fires going on, and of course the pandemic and all of the sickness and illness and the struggles that everybody has going on in their lives. It can start to feel a little overwhelming, like how in the world do I make a difference? Well, we each have a unique voice. We each have a unique way about us. And because of that, I truly believe if we stop and think about it, we can find ways to make a difference. I do. I believe that with all my heart. I believe that we can figure out how to make a difference in people's lives. There's my Rachel's philosophy once again. This steampunk is really bringing out the philosopher in me of all the things that I've been thinking about, which I do. I love it. I love to do that. Okay, so now we have done our vintage. We've done our distressing. Let's put this together and kind of see what we've got that we can create. So this big piece I'm going to use in the bottom of the main card base. I'm going to put that over here. And what I love is once you've done the distressing and you have stamped underneath it, that stuff starts to show underneath, and you just have multiple layers coming up at you, which I just love it. I love the look of it. I don't feel like I've got glue under that little piece there. Sorry. Excuse my head for just a moment. Just didn't feel like I had glue right there. Okay, so I've got that piece going on. And I know I want my joy fold to go on. Normally when I do my joy fold, what I'm looking for, so I like a little bit, so let's see, so I like a little bit of this to show, and then I like a little bit of that to show, but I kind of go in the middle. And so I take the back side of the joy fold where you didn't do any stamping on, and you do your glue there, and then when I approach it, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking kind of like in that middle, like see how I'm looking at that middle section there, and I'm going flat, because then when I lift it up and put it in there, how cool does that look? Okay, so that's super, super great. I love that. Okay, I know I want my brown to go here on the front. Are you loving already? Like, you see how it builds on top of itself. It like has this great build to it, which I love. So I love that. Got that going on. Yes, brilliant. Let's see, what else? Okay, I definitely want that piece on my brown. Okay, I'm loving it. Like all of a sudden it starts to make sense. All of a sudden you start having these great pieces and parts come together, and it really starts to take on this super cool look. Isn't that fabulous? Yes to that. Love, love, love. Okay, then let's see. This is going to go on dimensionals. I do know that for certain. I want that to be on dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put the dimensionals on and have that ready to go. I don't know if I'm going to put that down yet. I'll take a moment. Although I do know that this also goes on there. So I can go ahead and glue that and then let that sit over to the side while I continue to decorate with my other bits and pieces. And then don't forget we've got butterflies that are going to come in and enjoy and join the fray of all this greatness. Okay, isn't that super, super cool? I absolutely love the look that you're getting out of this. So I can't decide. I almost feel like I want that blue piece there. I kind of really love that there. So I think I'm going to do the blue piece there. So this is kind of what I do when I'm putting my card together. I do the base of the card. Now, if I were doing assembly line, which I'm always doing assembly line, I would have all my card bases cut, and then I would, you know, do the distressing of the one ink, and then I would stamp, and like this particular stamp, I would stamp all of that stamp in all my cards. So I try to help you along with that idea with the assembly line of how it can all kind of come together. Super easy, super simple. Now, this is where I had a couple of the rippy pieces from what you ripped, and if you add a little distressing to them, we can actually add a little something over here to the side, which I want to do. So I like to do that. I like to use every part. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I'm like, and let's use this. I'm sure we can find a way to use that. I'm like totally like, let's use everything, which I love to do. Okay, so I love that. Now I do have a set of words here, but I've got another piece here. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add a little distressing. Now, the truth is it's messy. Distressing is messy. It just is. So your fingers are going to be messy anyway. Man, it's just how it is. So I just kind of approach it that way, like, yes, it's just messy. That's how it is. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here with this piece across, because I've got another set of words. And then that leaves this space here, and that leaves this space here for writing. Because I do want to leave some room for writing. I always talk about that and kind of laugh about it. But the truth is, you know, I mean, I'm making a card, so I do want to write in it and say, like share with people. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to come across here like that. I think that looks super cool. And then that is going to be a great base. Just a little something extra, a little extra color there for my words to go into. Okay, and then we're going to come along and we've got butterflies to add. Don't forget our great butterflies we want to add, which I adore. And yes, I might, trying to decide. Oh, right there. Okay, so one more little piece to distress. And we'll add some butterflies on here. Okay. And then I want to show you the idea behind the memories and more, how you can do it. I won't put the whole card together, but just show you the ideas. Okay, so for inside here, we've got, stunning. We'll do that butterfly. So what I did with the butterflies is I just took the paper, and I took all kinds of the paper and just randomly stamped butterflies because I wanted all kinds of butterflies. Now that's that copper paper that came with the butterflies, which I found to be gorgeous. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We have a little blue butterfly over here. Super cute. Got a little guy over here. Right? So there we go inside. I absolutely adore that, actually. And we'll do another. Let's do a butterfly up there. I like that. And then our inside is done in this wonderful Joyful card. So I thought it was very appropriate, the Joyful card, and finding joy in our difficult situations. Because we all find ourselves in difficult situations sometimes. That's absolutely true. And so how we approach them does make a difference. So I am just distressing my little butterfly, as you saw, giving him a little bit of the same distressing technique that I did with everybody else. So one of the things that, like right now, so if you notice my cool gloves, I made these gloves, I love them. The Renaissance Festival would be coming up. Normally at this time of year we would do the Renaissance Festival as a family. Like that's a big family thing that we do, and of course it's canceled, so we cannot do it. So this is, you know, and that's such minute problems compared to hurricanes and fires and horrible things. But the truth is we all face different situations, and I think it's really, it shows our character and how we face them. You know, are we people that are working to give hope to other people in the midst of these distressing times? Are we, you know, trying to find ways to remain positive and hopeful? I think that's important. I think it's very important, actually, how we handle ourselves. And so here I am, and this is me getting dressed for the Renaissance, getting ready for the Renaissance Festival. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wear my some of my outfit that I would wear for you guys, so I can be like, ta-da, here we are, as if I were going to the Ren Fest. So Yeah, we love the Renaissance Festival. So that is a bummer that we're not going to get to do that. But we will still meet for my son's birthday is this month. And so we will still get together for that and still find ways to celebrate in smaller circles in smaller places. Okay, and so then I got my butterfly, and then of course we cannot forget our gems, so we're going to go ahead and put a gem on there. Is that not fabulous? I love this joy fold. And of course, on my Facebook page I will show you pictures during the week. I try to show you pictures of the things I made that week. And there is the gorgeous joyful done old world vintage style. Some steampunk happiness happening there. Okay, here's another one that I did. I'll show you. So I love it because they all look so different because of the paper, one, because you have different colored paper that you're pulling out and doing. You have different words that you can choose from. Now, I did not put this together, but I will put it together and then show it to you finalized. But what I wanted to show you, I did that same technique where I went ahead and distressed with the Cajun craze and did my pieces. But one thing that I loved in doing it with the Memories and More is that there were words already on there. So I made a tag with that. And then this piece was already 3x4, and all I did was rip it a little bit, and there are words there too. So watch for that on Facebook. I wanted to kind of give you a little excitement so you could watch for that on Facebook to see how I took the Memories and More and used them to create cards, which is just another fun way of using the products that we have. All right, let's go to the front screen. There we go. Okay, I didn't know. Just going to try. See if I can lift it up. Maybe. Ooh, come back here. So the vest I'm wearing, I know it looks ridiculous that I'm doing it this way, but I wanted to show you. Here I am peeking in my vest. I wanted to show you all the pens that I have going on. I created this for the Ren Fest. I made some of the pens, but they're my mama's pens, a lot of them. She had pens, and so that the vest is part of what I wear for the Renaissance Festival, and then my gloves that I did. And so I thought that's fun. I thought it totally goes with my old world vintage theme, and so I thought I would dress for the Renaissance Festival. Since I don't get to go, I thought I would share a little bit with you guys. So what am I going to tell you to do? You got to go and make the world a better place. We live in such a difficult time, and yet at the same time, there's beauty in amongst these ashes. There are things that we're finding. We have heroes rising up amongst us to do things that make the world a better place. So the truth is, in your piece of the world, you have something special that you can give to the world. So go and make the world a better place, my friend. And until I see you next week on Over the Moon, I bid you adieu.